Hello everyone. In today's episode, we shine the spotlight on Miss AIMI Yoshikawa, our featured idol. She portrays a woman caught between a secret love and the life she's already committed to. Her heart longs for one, yet duty ties her to another. Prepare to witness an emotional journey of passion, conflict, and consequence in this gripping drama, beginning right now. The morning air was cool and fresh as AIMI hung the laundry outside. At first it looked like a quiet, normal moment. But under the calm scene, trouble was growing between her and her husband, Hiroyuki. Before he left for work, he had felt a change in her mood, a slight coldness, a look she didn't usually have, but he chose not to say anything. Toru, his father, watched them closely. He could see that something was wrong. When he gently asked AIMI if everything was all right, she gave him a polite smile and said it was. Yet the smile did not reach her eyes. The real reason for her distant mood stayed hidden, like a secret floating in the morning air. What could be her reason? A few nights ago, before going to bed, AIMI discovered a painful truth that broke her heart. Hiroyuki was cheating on her. She found out about his affair with a girl named Yuko. The shock and sadness were so heavy that she began to lose focus, and little by little she started making small mistakes and having minor accidents, like this one. Toru, her father-in-law, quickly came to help her. While he gently wrapped a bandage around her injured right leg, he used the quiet moment to ask again if something was wrong with his son. AIMI didn't answer. Instead, she looked up at him and spoke softly. "Dad," she said, "am I still attractive? Do I still have charisma?" Toru froze for a moment, surprised by her sudden and personal question. Then he answered in a steady voice, "My dear, no one could ever deny your charm." AIMI's thoughts went back to the first time she had come to this house. What was happening now felt so much like that day. Back then, she'd had an accident on her way home, and Toru, her former teacher, had rescued her, bringing her to his home and caring for her wound. In the classroom, Toru had been strict and firm, but outside of school he was kind and gentle. It was during that time that AIMI first met Hiroyuki. Their relationship started fast, a whirlwind romance that ended in marriage right after graduation. But only a few years later, Hiroyuki's once warm love had turned cold. As her marriage slowly faded, AIMI began to feel again the old emotions she'd once buried, feelings for Toru, the man who had first shown her unexpected kindness. AIMI was the kind of woman people could always rely on. Even though her leg was still weak, she kept doing her chores without complaint. Toru felt quietly happy seeing her slowly recover, and he often watched her as she moved around the house. Just as he was about to leave the room, AIMI slipped and got herself wet. Toru quickly came to help, went to her room and looked through her clothes for something dry, but he felt too embarrassed to actually take anything out. Not wanting to trouble him, AIMI forced herself to climb the stairs to get her own clothes. When she reached the room, Toru was still there, staring at something in the drawer. He immediately stepped aside to give her space. After she changed, AIMI went to him and softly thanked him for always being kind and taking care of her. Neither of them knew it yet, but that small, gentle moment would become the start of a series of events that would forever link their lives. Amidst the heaviness of AIMI's loneliness, Toru was always there at her side. Long before, she had looked up to her former teacher as the very image of an ideal man, and now she found herself spending more and more time with him than with her own husband. Not long after, Hiroyuki came home, and AIMI dutifully went to greet him. Yet their words soon turned into a quiet quarrel as the subject of his other woman resurfaced. When a call came through on his phone, AIMI stepped away. Deep down she knew it was the mistress, but the fight had drained her. She let him do as he pleased, feeling her heart grow numb. In her pain, Aimi also began to follow her own wishes, finding comfort and closeness in Toru's presence. As Hiroyuki kept ignoring Aimi, she and Toru grew closer and closer. Every day, Hiroyuki seemed more interested in his phone than in his wife. He didn't even think about taking her out for a walk on his days off. Toru felt angry watching his son treat Aimi this way. It wasn't only Aimi who was being pushed aside, even Toru, his own father, felt the hurt of Hiroyuki's coldness. It was becoming painfully clear to Aimi that Hiroyuki would never change. He was lost, consumed by the pull of his mistress, a man no longer within anyone's reach. Regret began to seep through her heart like a slow poison. Why had she chosen him? Why not the father instead, the man who had always carried himself with quiet strength and warmth? Time and again she found herself measuring father and son against each other, and every time Toru emerged in her mind as the better man. Maybe, she thought sadly, if she had been with him instead, her days would be happier and her nights free from tears. Many days passed, and still nothing inside the house seemed to change. The same quiet routines, the same unspoken tensions, the same scenes played out again and again until everyone had learned to simply accept them as part of life. Yet, behind Toru's calm eyes, there was a lingering sadness. He could not help but mourn the state of his son's marriage, the way a once warm household had turned cold. Unable to keep the thought to himself, he gently asked Aimi if she had decided to leave Hiroyuki. Her answer was only a whisper of uncertainty. She truly didn't know. Toru, in his heart, longed for the days when the three of them could sit together without bitterness or secrets, when laughter could still fill the rooms. Even so, he refused to let hope die. He told her that, in time, things might yet heal, that wounds could close if given enough patience. Aimi, however, felt no urgency. The future was a distant shore she could think about later. What mattered to her now was the man at her side, the one who offered her support, warmth, and a sense of being cherished. As long as he was there, she would not rush toward any decision. Tomorrow could wait, the present was all she had and all she could hold. The end. When emotional needs in a marriage go unaddressed, vulnerability can lead to unhealthy or complicated relationships. Open, honest communication and mutual respect are essential for maintaining trust and boundaries within a family. Betrayal only deepens pain, and breaking cycles of secrecy or neglect is the first step toward healing. I hope you learned something from this video. And always remember, do not copy all the wrongdoings from this movie. Thank you and see you in my next story.